Welcome back to Cabin View Firewood. It is another cold one today. It's about 10 degrees, but it's not windy, so it doesn't feel too bad. Once you start moving around and working, you warm up pretty quick. So, good day to get some work done around the log yard. Now, we just had another snowstorm. So far, we've had 2 snowstorms this year, and both times the forecast has been way off. The first storm we got, they were calling for 2 to 4 inches. We didn't even get an inch of snow. They closed schools down for the day. It was a complete waste. And the second storm we just got 2 days ago, they were calling for 3 to 6, and we got 8 inches. So I'm not blaming the forecasters. I know it is an extremely hard job trying to predict exactly what Mother Nature is going to do. Plus, I took a meteorology course in college, and I really liked it. I even contemplated for a semester changing my major from accounting to meteorology. Luckily, I didn't do that because I know what a hard time those guys get, but now I'm in sales. So here we are. All right, what are we going to talk about today? Today, I'm going to work on a lighting solution. So my log yard is not too far from the house, but far enough where I don't have electricity back here. And for half of the year, it's dark at 5 o'clock. So I need to get some more lighting back here, mainly right around this little shed area where I do my splitting, I do my bundling. And I already have a couple little spotlights up that kind of light up in front of the woodshed, but I need some more light. I need some light to cover some more space so I have a little more room to work and I can see what I'm doing. I don't do a whole lot of splitting after dark, but what I end up doing is I get home from work and I have a firewood order that I need to fulfill. So I end up bringing some spotlights out so I can bag up some wood, or the roadside stand is empty. I need to bag up wood and get down there. So it's kind of a pain moving lights around. I would like to just find a more permanent solution to get some lighting around this area where I do my work. Now, this is going to be one of the solutions. These are some solar street lights. Now, these are a little on the smaller side, and I am not promoting a brand. I'm not even recommending a brand. This is a gift I got for Christmas. I'm trying these out. I don't even know if these things are going to work. I know the light itself works. I don't know how much light output I'm going to get from it, but I did charge it a little bit, made sure it turned on before I actually get this thing up in the air, because we're going to mount this about 12 feet high. But there are tons of these out there. So you can search online, you can go to Amazon, and there's almost an endless supply of these solar spotlights. These have become a pretty popular item. Now, the size on this one, the body itself is about 12 inches. The lighting area is about 7.5 inches by 6 inches. And this is a 350 lumen output. So I think that comes out to right around 50 watts. So nothing huge. That's why I'm not going to go any higher than 12 feet on this. This light company says this will light 500 to 700 square feet. I think that's a little optimistic for how much output you're going to get. But I think this size light, and with the output it has, might be good for, the entryways for the woodshed, or, right outside this little shed area here. But as far as, covering a big area for spotlight, you probably need something a little bit bigger. Now, I am going to put this in a temporary spot because I want to see how much output it has before I put it somewhere permanently. But what I have here is, on the other side of us is the hillside that drops down into my lower yard. And I would like to line that with a couple lights, maybe 2, 3, even 4 bigger spotlights, so I can get this whole area nice and lit up, and then maybe hang a couple of these right on the edge of the woodshed and the equipment shed here, and have some good entryway lighting. But this thing, This is IP65, so it's nice and waterproof. It's got a pretty nice solar surface on it. I think the charge time is like 6 to 8 hours, so it charges up pretty fast. I believe it's a 5,000 milliamp hour battery in this. So we'll see how it does. But like I said, I am not recommending, I'm not even going to tell you guys what brand this is because I don't want it to sound like I'm recommending one of these. Just do your research. But I think these are going to be a great solution for, you know, you have a remote woodshed, someplace where you'd have no electricity and you need to get some good lighting. You know, this should give me at least a couple hours of light. Highly doubt it's going to stay on all night, but even if you get 3 to 4 hours out of it and you can get light from, you know, say 5 to 9 or 10 o'clock, you can get a decent amount of work done after dark. So let's hang this thing up, and then I am going to check back in with you guys probably in a day or two because I want to let this thing charge up, and then we'll come out here at night and see exactly how much light output we get from this solar street light. This one also has a nice remote to it, and it's got a couple different settings, an on-off button, so you can do a lot of function with this little remote once this light is, you know, pretty high up in the air. So, all right, let's get this thing mounted. So first thing I need to do, get this out of the way here. I'm going to cut this 2x4 down. I'm just going to take, I think 4 feet should be plenty. And I'm going to mount this to the side of the equipment shed here. It's a spot where I get pretty decent light, so should be able to charge up nice. This Wolf Ridge log splitter has actually been a really nice work surface. So not only is it great at splitting logs, it's good for when you're cutting lumber outside. All right. That's how we're going to mount it. We're just going to eye this up. I think that should work right there. Should have brought a clamp out to hold this thing on. All right, so here's our temporary setup. And like I said, the way we're going to mount this is going to end up being about 12 feet up. So should get some pretty good coverage out of this, but we will find out maybe tonight. We'll see how charged up it got today. All right. So here is flip this back on. It's hard to tell right now because of all the snow, but so here's the hillside. Right now I am going to end up pushing this out a little bit further. I'm going to take some of this material back in here, cut this hill back a little bit farther, push that out and get a little more space, maybe another 2, 3, 4 feet along the edge of this bank. And then I will mount a couple of these lights right along here. Here's the equipment shed, which I keep saying this, but I'm going to actually take this down, rebuild it so it's a little farther back along the hill here, and we're going to extend it down a little bit so we have a little more roof coverage since it's not going to be as wide. And then there's another one of the wood sheds, which we're going to extend that down that way a little bit. So we've got a lot of projects coming up here once the weather cooperates. But this is not a really wide area. You know, maybe 25, 30 feet. So that's why I need to kind of build everything along the back of the hill there. But it's going to make, if I add a couple of these lights along the edge of this bank, it's going to light this area up pretty well. So I think this will be a good lighting solution for my log yard. All right, let's see if I can manage this. So stay here. Get that thing squared up. All right. That looks pretty good. Let's just get a rough idea. Wait, right at 12 feet. All right, guys. Let's back up here a second. I'll show you what we're going to light up. So this area all in here is where I do a lot of my cutting, a lot of my sorting, and it's the darkest spot I have in my log yard because, like I said, I have a couple smaller lights on the front of the woodshed on the other side, so that gets a little bit of light, plus some spotlights from the house. But this area is definitely my darkest. So this is going to be a good test for this light to see how much output we get from it. And then we'll add on from there. So I will check back in when it gets dark. All right, guys, I think it's dark enough to test out the light. Let's give it a try. Hey, there we go. That's actually pretty darn bright. Now there's tons of different settings. You've got a low light to brightness with motion sense. You can have it on full time. You've got timers from like 3 to 5 hours. So, and I don't think this is fully charged yet. So there's the motion sense. All right, so that's the low light. I don't know if it's gonna pick me up yet. There we go. And there's the bright light. So we've got about I don't know, I'm about 25 feet away, and that is about where the brightest light is. The width is, I don't know, probably a good 30, maybe 30 feet, 25, 30 feet. So it's a decent size area. Let's see if I can change the mode here. Give me just light on. So that's another nice thing. If I'm not out here working, right, so most of the week I can just have this thing on dim and motion sense, or I can come out when I'm working and just turn the light on and have it on full brightness while I'm out here. So actually pretty impressed with this little light. And these were cheap. I mean, these were like, I think this was a 2-pack for like $55 or $60. So we'll see how it holds up, but it's supposed to be pretty waterproof. Looks like enough light for what I need it. I would definitely set up a couple of these along that hillside, maybe 2 or 3, and I'll be able to light up this whole area where I do my work. So, not too bad. All right, guys, that's going to wrap things up for this video. So thanks for joining me. Let me know if you have any questions or comments. Hit that subscribe button, and I will see you on the next one.